Alright everybody, I just thought I'd share a few news clips with you. Um, the first one here is interesting. The Hadron Collider that I believe we're paying for through taxes somehow, and other people are paying for unknowingly. Um, Basically, they built this huge machine. I thought it was important enough to build this huge machine to find a particle, find one particle. It's been labeled the God particle. It's called the Boson particle. It's how all particles bond together to make planets and universes and stuff like that. And I guess they finally found it. Now there is an argument that um, you bring your thoughts become reality. Uh, And the whole thing about experiments that they do is they're looking for this outcome. Eventually, you get it, is one way of looking at it. And then the other way of looking at it is these people want to man-make universes and man-make things, just like they do everything else. They take everything that nature provides us with that is perfect, and they put it in a lab, and they do whatever they do to it, and it always comes out worse than what it was. It comes out addictive, it comes out with side effects, it comes out crap. Um, what we are given to from the earth is perfect in every way. And when man gets a hold of it and takes it into his lab, to the white coats, and twists it all up, just like they do with everything, like they do with our literature, like they do with everything. Um, okay, I'll leave a link in the description area if you want to check out and read about this thing. I just wanted to point out real quick some people who are involved in this that you may not know about, which I found very interesting. You know that I talk about royalty a lot and the bloodline and these certain families that only intermarry with other families, and then from there it goes down, and a lot of our politicians are related to the Queen of England in some way, shape, or form. The Vatican is connected to the crown, the cross and the crown. Um, so in this paragraph here it says, Paul Nurse, President of Britain's Science Academy, the Royal Society, said this is a big day and blah blah blah. I found it interesting that the Royal Society was a big part of this thing, apparently. Um, so I went ahead and I looked up the Royal Society of London for improving natural knowledge. Okay, so there's an angle behind this than just why is it so important to build a I don't know what that machine cost. I think it's in the article, $1 trillion. I don't know. They built this expensive ass underground machine to find this one particle. It's very important to them. And that raises a red flag for me. Here's the insignia over here, 3 lions. The number 3 is very significant. In another video you hear, I have a video where I show Charles Manson talking about knowing why the Queen has 3 stripes on her hat. And someone in there was nice enough to comment in the section below, in the comment section, to tell you what that was all about. It's the Lion of Aton. It's the Lion of Akhenaten. It's the Lion of Atonism, or Luciferianism, or the worship of light alone by itself. Okay, so I'm not saying anything is bad. It's the way it's being used by certain people that's bad. Okay, and this was founded in 1660. It was granted a royal charter by King Charles II, okay? King Charles II, okay, who was part of the bloodline, as the Royal Society of London. The society today acts as a scientific advisor to British government, receiving a parliamentary grant and aid. The society acts as the UK's Academy of Sciences and funds research, fellowship, scientific startup companies. And on it goes. And you can read about this, links in the description area. You see who's behind this, okay? The same people who want to run the world. I heard something the other day where they were able to produce the greatest man-made temperature yet. It was something trillion degrees, and it makes you wonder. It makes it wonder when they're going to come out with that gene that makes you live forever, and it makes you wonder uh, what these guys are capable of when they can make you live forever. Trillion degrees sounds a lot like hell to me. Okay, so moving along, here's another story. Arafat was, they found radioactive substance in his polonium-210 and his personal effects. The only reason I'm really sharing this story is to show you what the people at top are capable of and what they will do. The soap operas you watch on TV with rich people poisoning each other isn't just fiction. This is how they operate. They want you to think it's fiction. That's why they put it out to you as fiction. But then you see things like this if you're paying attention. You can go read this. Links in the description area. This stuff goes on, is my point, and it goes on a lot more than you're aware of. And the people that run this world are not very nice. Okay. One day we're gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be when you have a boot in your face or when it's gonna be, but one day you're gonna realize this. And it may not even be in this lifetime. You might cycle back through into a place you don't want to be. And the last story kind of connects with Charles Manson and something he said and predicted and foresaw. When one person doesn't get the rights, no one gets their rights, and things just get worse and worse. And prison is a reflection of society, and people who come out of prison are a reflection of society. Okay, everything's a reflection. This article is about a guy who sees the cruel face of U.S. justice. Okay, he's put in prison for 162 years without the possibility of parole. And he was, he says, might just as well say I'm dead. Same thing Charles Manson says. He died in 1952 or something like that in jail. It was his first offense. He says, my first offense, and they gave me all this time. And Davis said, Pudgy, whatever. It was a person. It was a human being at a federal detention center in Miami. Might as well say I'm dead. Davis was convicted of participating in a string of armed robberies in the Miami area in 2010. His accomplices testify against him, saying he carried a gun during their crimes and discharged it. And that was to get their butts. This is what you call a snitch. That was to get their sentences reduced. Okay, probably. So this guy is definitely getting railroaded here. If one person gets railroaded, we all get railroaded. What he did was robbery is not cool. But who's really robbing who? In the long run, these big banks, these big bailed out banks, these big $1 trillion ass jacks that sit on thrones and think they have this divine right to rule. I mean, where does it stop and where does it begin? All right. This was my main story right here. I'll leave this link in the description area. This is what's happening. People are losing their rights more and more every day, and they're getting 162 years in prison. What about the Catholic priests that molested kids? What about the Catholic priests that molested kids? What about some of these millionaires and billionaires that get thrown under the bus and busted, but don't see a day in jail? Huh? What about old Clinton there for lying, flat out lying to the public, and they told you he did it? You think if he lied that time, that was the only time he lied? What kind of laws do you think this guy is making? What kind of enslavement do you think he wants for you? So there's a look at some of the headlines. Take care.